Hey everybody, good afternoon, happy Monday. I really hope everyone had a wonderful, blessed weekend with your family and your friends, and I hope you're having a great Monday. I love Mondays. I always feel like Monday is kind of a fresh start, right? It's a fresh start to work harder on my health goals, my business goals, my spiritual goals. It's like Mondays are just the most amazing fresh start. So today, I really want to talk to you guys, hey Kathy, about something that is very, very, very near and dear to my heart. So while we're kind of waiting, I'm a couple minutes early. So while we're waiting for a few people to pop on, let me just give you a little bit of background. I know most of you know me very well. You know I'm a nutritionist. You know I'm a former 350-pound food addict. You know I am very passionate about fighting childhood obesity and preaching to people about the dangers of the consumption of excess sugar and carbohydrates. And so the topic we're going to talk about today, when I'm speaking at a school or I'm speaking at a church or to a civic group or to a bariatric program at a hospital, this one always gets people just with their mouths hitting the floor. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. I thought I was doing good. And so I think it's important for everyone to remember one very simple concept. And that is the food industry is not your friend. The hype that they get you to buy into, the louder a food has to scream that it's good for you, probably the less good it truly is. Like if you go over to the produce department, there's no sign on the apples, there's no sign on the tomatoes, on the cauliflower that says all natural, good for you, no sugar added, because those are foods that God gave us that come from nature. So of course they're really good. But when you see packaging that says no sugar added, sometimes that can have 10 times the sugar of a candy bar. If you see something that says all natural, 9 times out of 10, it's super processed and it's not natural at all. So the main thing that I want to focus on and talk about today is the misconception that these juice drinks and smoothie drinks are really good for you. Now, I drink a protein shake almost every day. But it's not the same as what you're buying in the grocery store. It's not the same as what you're going to get at one of the chain smoothie outlets. Okay, here's what I want you to remember. Those drinks are allowed to put things on the labeling, like no sugar added, okay? I'm about to show you, I didn't want to go to the store and purchase these because I don't want to give them my money. So I downloaded the picture of the product and the nutrition label, and I made a little PowerPoint. So I'm going to show you guys what is wrong with those prepackaged drinks. Now, I've got 2 here that I'm giving you as examples, but that doesn't mean other brands you see out there are great. You've got to learn how to read labels and understand the sugar content in what you're having. And let me just start by saying that there is a tremendous difference in eating an apple, eating an orange, or drinking apple juice or orange juice. When you juice something, you are pulling out the concentrated sugar and you're usually leaving all the fiber and goodness. Now, for those of you that are going to tell me, but Erin, I've got this super NutriBullet thing and it puts the whole piece of fruit in there. Well, that's great. But the question then becomes, if you sit in there and put a whole apple, a whole orange, a whole banana, a handful of berries, whatever else, would you sit down at one sitting and eat all that whole fruit in one serving? Of course not. It would be ridiculous. It'd be way too much sugar. So then why would you grind it up and drink it? If you want the flavor of an apple or an orange and you want to taste that juicy goodness, eat a whole apple, eat the whole fruit. God gave us the fruits. You know, I always tell people sugar is poison, right? And it is. It is a very slow acting poison that is just as harmful and toxic to the liver as alcohol, which is why you see so many people nowadays that do not drink or might only drink every once in a while coming up with fatty liver disease that used to only be seen in primarily alcoholics. So Yes, God gave us the poison, but he packaged it with the antidote. When you eat an apple or you eat an orange or a piece of fruit from nature, yes, it has sugar, but it is packed with fiber and vitamins and nutrients that counteract the effect that that sugar has on your bloodstream. So there's a very, very big difference in those two things. They are not the same. So this is why if you open the fridge in the Akey household, you're never going to see apple juice, orange juice, grape juice, cranberry juice. You're never going to see dried fruit, right? I love frozen fruit. We get frozen fruit a lot to make our smoothies and things like that, but you're not going to see us with fruit juice, okay? So a couple of times in the last few weeks, I've been in the grocery store and I've seen someone, I'm going to show you these right now. Let me go ahead and just get this pulled up where you guys can see my PowerPoint, right? So this is a product called Naked. Naked makes smoothies of all different kinds. And if you look at the labeling on here, I'll zoom in. Do you see where that says no sugar added? Okay, well, if I'm not really educated in the way sugar works and carbohydrates work, then I may walk in the grocery store and I might purchase this and think I'm doing something healthy. It says boosted smoothie, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and it says 270 calories per bottle. Well, first of all, that's quite a bit, number one, because those calories are coming from pure sugar. So let's go look at what's in this, right? And it says you've got 2 3/4 apples, a third of a mango. A mango is really big. Half of a pineapple, or no, I'm sorry, a 1/12 of a pineapple, half a banana, and a third of a kiwi. You would not sit down at one sitting and eat that much fruit. That's just crazy, right? So then you've got the label that says no sugar added. Guys, I want you to look at the grams of sugar in this smoothie. 53 grams. Do you see the dietary fiber? 0. You've got 63 grams of carbohydrates if you drink that. First of all, if you're a person who's diabetic, if you're a person who's struggling with weight issues, that's like over 2 days worth of carbohydrates right there. The wrong kind. There's no fiber with that. Look at that. It's only 4 grams of protein. So if you were to, you have to remember that every 4 grams of carbohydrate converts to a teaspoon of sugar. So if you drank this, you're looking at, what is it, almost 16 teaspoons of sugar. So you can either take 16 teaspoons of white sugar from your cabinet, or you could drink this smoothie. It's ridiculous, and people think these are healthy. I will see people coming to me as nutrition clients. They're having blood sugar crashes, all this craziness going on, but I eat really healthy. I'm not consuming a lot of sugar. And then I'll get the food logs and see things like this. Crazy, crazy. So here's another common brand called Bolt House Farms, okay? And they call this green goodness, right? There's nothing good about this, guys. It's just not. Okay, let's look at this one. First of all, the bottle is 2 servings. It's 130 calories a serving, and then each serving is 26 grams of sugar, 30 grams of carbohydrate, 1 gram of fiber. So once again, if you consume this, you're eating so many days worth of sugar and more than 2 days worth of carbohydrates. It's awful, guys. It is absolutely awful. And what makes me sad is people will look at this and they'll think, oh, that's good for me. I'm going to grab it. Hey, Bettina. So what I want to tell you is, yes, it's okay to have a smoothie. Smoothies are great. I love my smoothies. I'm about to show you guys a much better option if I can get my little camera working the way I would like to. So if you want to have a smoothie, then it's so funny. I'm so tall. It's hard to get. My tripod doesn't go any higher because I'm almost 6 feet tall. Tall girl problems, right? So if you want to have a smoothie that truly is healthy, then you need to get something like a protein powder, right? There's several that I love because they're clean and because they have a very high ratio of protein versus the carbohydrates, okay? Let me show you this one. This is my favorite brand. It's called Quest. I have vanilla. My husband Ben is a banana freak, so I have banana. It comes in some amazing flavors like salted caramel, things like that. And if you look at the package here, a serving of this is 110 calories, less than 1 gram of sugar. It has 3 grams of carbohydrates, but only 2 net carbs. 2. And 24 grams of protein. It's got 35% of a day's worth of calcium. It's got iron, magnesium, amazing stuff, right? So if you want to make a really good smoothie, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take this, right? And you can throw it in your blender with a handful of frozen berries, or you can do 1 apple or 1 banana or something like that. You would, if you're trying to lose weight, I would recommend doing berries of any type because those are going to be your lowest sugar fruits. Berries are so packed with nutrients and they're so low in sugar that I don't even give my clients limits on berries. So if you keep a bag of frozen berries in the freezer, plain berries, not in any kind of sauce, then you can take a scoop of this, put it in your blender with a handful of berries and some ice, some unsweetened like coconut, cashew, or almond milk. Make sure it's unsweetened. Don't get the sweetened versions of those because they're full of added sugar. And some ice cubes and boom, there's a good shake, right? Ben loves banana. So I'll take this banana one from Quest for him and I'll put a scoop in the blender and then I might put a couple tablespoons of peanut butter and with the unsweetened almond milk and some ice and make him a peanut butter banana shake. I also like taking the chocolate one and adding coffee and making like a chocolate coffee shake. Sometimes I will take a scoop of this one and I will whisk it into a cup of coffee, not too hot because you never want your protein to get heated up too much, but I'll whisk it into some coffee and make me like a vanilla latte coffee, protein coffee. That's a great healthy breakfast. But don't fall for these smoothies and juices. Look at the nutrition. Look at the amount of sugar. If you notice, when you look at a package in the United States, you don't see a recommended daily allowance for sugar. You'll see how much sugar is in the product. However, the food industry and the food lobby in this country, they own your politicians. And they were very successful in keeping recommended daily allowance, RDAs, of sugar off of labels. But if you go to the World Health Organization, you'll find that they're recommending no more than 6 teaspoons a day for women max and 8 for men. And so if you're someone who's trying to lose weight, you want to make it even less than that. Hey, Terry, frozen peaches are fine too. You just want to make sure the amount that you're using is not more than 1 whole piece of fruit. Because yes, fruit comes from nature, but you can overdo it on the high sugar fruits. So that all is very dependent on your lifestyle, your level of activity, if you're diabetic, if you're trying to lose weight. If you're a person that has any kind of autoimmune disease, I have several different autoimmune diseases where inflammation is a big deal. And so the more sugar you consume, if you have fibromyalgia, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's, MS, any of those, the more you consume sugar, the worse your pain levels will be. Sugar is one of the worst inflammatory things you can put in your body. And so be very mindful of that, very careful. I like to do a banana nut shake where I'll take the banana kind, I'll throw in a handful of almonds or pecans, and it's almost like my banana bread, banana nut shake, whatever you want in there. Pretty much you can't go wrong with any nut. My least favorite that I would recommend for clients would be a peanut because they can be highly inflammatory and they're a little less healthy than say an almond or a walnut or a macadamia. So just be mindful, be very mindful. And you know, I've got a series that if you kind of come here and watch when I do the lives over the course of the next couple months, I'm going to have a whole series on what happens to our bodies when we overconsume the sugar and the processed foods. And it's really, really scary. There is 95% of chronic disease in America can be prevented by changing what we eat and having the right nutritional supplements. And yes, every human on the planet, I don't care how clean you think you eat, because of our environment and what's in the world, every human on the planet needs a good probiotic and multivitamin. So be careful with the juice drinks and the smoothie drinks. you're usually consuming several days worth of sugar at one sitting. And if any of you have questions about any of this, please put them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday.